Welcome to Red Recaps. For today's video, we are going to explain the third installment in the Annabelle franchise. Make sure to watch until the end to find out how they seal Annabelle back and end her reign of terror. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The movie starts when demonologist Ed and Lorraine take Annabelle away from three people after claiming that the doll is haunted. On their way back home while driving, an officer pulled them over to tell them that the road was closed due to an accident. Before turning back, Lorraine thinks she sees a young woman standing among the wreck. Missing the right turn, the couple drive by the cemetery when their vehicle breaks down. Ed went inside to check the hood. Then, Lorraine sees the ghost of the girl from the accident and tells her that she likes the doll. Then she looked at the cemetery to notice other spirits looking at them. One of them pushes Ed to the streets, making him almost hit by a truck. The truck driver claimed that his truck all of a sudden has control of its own. Lorraine claims that the doll is responsible for what is happening. They take Annabelle home and have it blessed by a priest and lock it away by putting it in a locked, blessed glass chamber to ensure the evil is contained. The movie explains that the Warren collection is known to house sinister artifacts, and Annabelle is the most evil and notorious find. 1 year later, the Warrens welcome Mary Ellen, who will be in charge of babysitting the couple's daughter, Judy, since they are about to investigate another paranormal case. Kids at school decline Judy's birthday invitation and mock his parents' line of work. Meanwhile, Judy sees a ghostly priest at school that begins following her, evidence that she inherited the ability of her mother to see ghosts. Mary Ellen and Daniela argue in the grocery store as Daniela is interested in what the Warrens do for a living, and she wants to stay over at their house. Mary Ellen refuses first, but gives in shortly because Daniela threatens to tell Mary is babysitting her crush, Bob Palmieri, who coincidentally works in the checkout of the grocery store. However, Daniela still reveals it to Bob as soon as Mary Ellen rushes out to the store. Later that day, Mary Ellen saves Judy from getting bullied further because of her parents' profession. Then, Judy sees the priests she is seeing paranormally still following her as the hallway slowly gets emptied. She dismisses it and comes home with Mary, where they prepare to bake her birthday cake. Her friend Daniela arrives uninvited to the Warrens' home. She quickly snoops around the house like it was hers. Judy explains that the bell informs a human if they are in the presence of a spirit. Danielle wants to go in the artifact room, but Mary Ellen and Judy tell her no and warn her not to go there. Daniela, who is curious about speaking to the dead after the death of her father, drops the subject and gives a pair of roller skates to Judy as her birthday present, and convinces her to play with Mary Ellen outside. While they are away, Daniela tries to get into the artifacts room, but finds the room securely locked. She even contacted the spirits inside to let her come in, but the door did not budge. As she could not go in, Daniela continues snooping around in the home office and ironically finds the keys to the artifact room behind a picture frame of Jesus Christ. Daniela finally finds the key to the door in the Warrens' home office, and without the idea of the possible consequences of her action, she starts exploring and touching artifacts. After staining her hands with dirt, Daniela takes a photograph of her late father and attempts to contact him. This reveals that she's not just a curious teenager, but she has wanted to get into the Warrens' artifact room to be with her dad. After noticing no sign at all, Daniela walks away when she hears a thud. She looks back and finds that the Annabelle doll has moved. Despite the huge warning sign on Annabelle's glass chamber, Daniela unlocks it, thinking it is her dad, making an attempt to communicate with her. She returns the doll back inside the glass and leaves in a hurry after hearing the fire alarm. Because of her panic, she accidentally leaves Annabelle's glass case unlocked, unleashing the evil. Daniela was already in the kitchen when Mary Ellen returns, but Judy is out feeding the chickens. Daniela comes out to the small barn, and Judy shares how the kids in her class are scared to be near her and her family. She also finds out that her big bully is Daniela's brother. Daniela tells her not to take it seriously because it's been a tough year for them. With Daniela's story, Judy knows that Daniela and her brother lost somebody, confusing Daniela because Judy denies that Mary Ellen told her anything. The terror begins shortly afterward with a knock at the front, but there's no one there. Mary keeps the front door locked when she hears the continuous ringing of the bell, followed by banging on it. She looks through the people and finds no one. Just as she walks away, she hears a little girl's voice, asking if Annabelle is in there. Mary Ellen opens the door and informs the little girl that she has the wrong house, because there is no Annabelle in there. The girl insists that there is, and she is right behind Mary Ellen. This prompts her to look back, but there is no one. And when she returns her gaze up front, the little girl is gone. Mary Ellen dismisses what happened and joins the two in the small barn, where she witnesses Daniela comforting Judy about their family's hope. Just then, Daniela sees an apparition of what seems to be her dad, looking at her from the back door of the house. This prompts her to return to the house, and she cannot help but be emotional as she looks for her dad. Mary Ellen and Judy return too, as they are confused by Daniela's sudden actions. While Mary Ellen follows Daniela downstairs, Judy goes upstairs after seeing a silhouette pass by. She follows the creaking sound, leading to a room where she finds the Annabelle doll sitting on a rocking chair. When the door swings back and she opens it again, the doll has disappeared. When Judy turns around, she finds a note underneath the bed saying, "Miss me?" Subsequently, the terror begins. The side door rattles and the cross turns upside down, followed by the wind howling, indistinct whispering, and rumbling. She watches in fear as the bride passes by and raises her hand, holding a knife. The bride then charges toward her, so Judy quickly holds the cross up and hides her face. Mary Ellen and Daniela hear her scream, so Mary Ellen quickly runs to her and finds her muttering a prayer, still holding the cross and hiding her face. Later that night, Annabelle begins releasing other spirits, such as the ferryman, the bride, cursed samurai armor, a feely-mealy board game, and a hellhound. After Bob arrives and asks Mary Ellen out on a date, he is attacked by the hellhound and hides in the chicken coop in the Warrens' backyard. Mary Ellen is attacked and dragged by the ferryman, while Judy is confronted by Annabelle in her bedroom. When Daniela goes to return the artifact room's key, she becomes trapped inside the room and tormented by a monkey toy and an old television that can predict what will happen in the near future. A future bloody and screaming Daniela appears on the television screen after having answered a cursed telephone. When the real Daniela reaches to answer the telephone, Judy and Mary Ellen rush in and prevent Daniela from doing so. The trio escapes from the artifacts room after Annabelle terrorizes them again. Daniela claims that it was all her fault because she opened Annabelle's case. Michael saved Judy from the hellhound by hitting it with his guitar. Judy explains that they must lock Annabelle in her case again so the other spirits will rest. When they attempt to retrieve the doll, Daniela is attacked and possessed by the bride and starts attacking Mary Ellen. Eventually, Mary Ellen and Judy find the doll after the priest's spirit, acting as Judy's guardian, shows them the way. Daniela recovers when Judy plays Ed's recorded footage of the bride's exorcism and helps Mary Ellen and Judy recover the doll. They manage to retrieve the glass case's key after they were attacked by demonic hands from the feely-mealy board game. After the doll's case is locked, the disturbances stop, and the other spirits return to their slumber. The trio is also reunited with Bob, who has survived the Hellhound's attacks. The next morning, Ed and Lorraine return, and the trio tell them about their struggles. Eventually, Daniela apologizes to Lorraine, but Lorraine knows her ill-advised actions were the result of her wanting to contact her deceased father. Lorraine has told Daniela about a message she received from him and tells her that her dad really misses her. Returning the picture of her father, that Daniela had inserted in the bracelet earlier. The two then reunite with the others to join Judy's birthday party celebrations along with Judy's friends. The movie concluded with the family picture of the Warrens and then transitions into a photo of the real Warren family, followed by a dedication to Lorraine Warren. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave comments regarding your thoughts about the movie. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get notified for our next upload. If you'd like to watch this movie, check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching Red Recaps, and see you all in the next video.